Hi everyone, I'm Melissa Colon, the Distance Education Coordinator at Columbia College. What I'd like to do is take you through some steps that you can do in a Blackboard shell to set up an enhancement for all of your classes. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the default shell. Now some of you will want to be copying over content from the previous semester. In this case, we're going to start from scratch, as if you do not have any content to copy over. You might be asking yourself, why would I want a Blackboard enhancement? Well, some instructors like to post materials that students can access 24/7. For an example, the syllabus. The syllabus is an important document. It's a contract between you and your students. It has lots of different information within it that you want your students to know and also be able to reference. If you post your syllabus, the students can not only download it and print it out, but they'll be able to access it online. Many of our instructors also use Blackboard to post homework assignments. They create pre and post assessments. They also can put their PowerPoints and lots of different web resources. It's limitless as to what you can do to provide your students some resources to help them be successful. Okay, so what we have here is a dashboard homepage and the announcements tool. These are two items that are going to be by default on your menu. And then we have the course management area, the control panel, that can also be collapsed and expanded. Whenever you see these little triangles, this means that the content area, these areas here, can be collapsed and expanded. Now, you'll want to get to know the control area as well, because this is where you will be able to set up your grade center. And we won't have time for it in this particular presentation, because what we'll be doing is focusing on the content area. But I do want you to go over here to the customization under teaching style, and you'll notice that when we get to that area, it has lots of different options for you. Now, I wouldn't necessarily worry about the course menu style structure, because this is going to set up these areas for you. If you have any questions about this, let me know. I'm going to be teaching you how to set up these content areas from scratch. And yes, you can name them whatever you want. So if you like some of the names and some of these structures, you could replicate that. Now, select course of entry is going to be important. Right now, my point of entry happens to be on the dashboard homepage. I believe it defaults to the announcements, but this is the good news. You can change it. So that means that when your students log into Blackboard and click on your class, the point of entry is going to be whatever you want it to be. Now, since we only have two items in our menu area, you're only going to have the choice right away as the dashboard homepage or the announcements. Now here's some fun, what I like to call sprinkles and icing, and this is the themes. You can choose different themes. I'm just going to choose a different theme just to show you what that might look like, and then you can actually have some menu style items like text, colors, or buttons. Sometimes we like to use buttons. Now, I wouldn't recommend a button that jazzy, because it can actually, you have to be careful sometimes, for the text is hard to show up. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it at text. I'll let you explore with the button library, so make sure you come back here. And then I do like the content view to be icons and text. And then I also like a banner. If I had one, I could attach a banner. Now I'm going to show you how to bring some images in. Sometimes we have to create a banner that fits the 480 by 80 pixels, and sometimes our publishers, this is another place where we can get lots of content, they have banners for us. So if you have any questions about that, again, please don't hesitate to contact me. So once you have created your options, and you've actually chosen some of these items here, and you've made some adjustments and edits, click on Submit to confirm the changes. Notice that you'll have this little green bar that says Success, your course style updated. And notice my course style updated. Now I want you to notice that we have an edit mode on. This is what we need to have toggled on when you're going to be doing any editing. Not so much in the control panel, but when we're going to be adding things to the menu. If we wanted to see what students see, we're going to turn that edit mode to off, and then students would see exactly this view. And well, let me just say this, they will not see the control panel area. So this below the course management they will not see. They'll only see the content area. Make sure if you want to edit and add some items that you have your edit mode to on. And here's just a very quick little way to change your course theme. It's the same idea that you saw under the customization right here in the control panel under teaching style. Okay, so I'm just going to collapse that for right now, and I'm going to scroll up to the top, and I want to talk a little bit about some of these items again that are in your shell when you first get it. Now the dashboard homepage has lots of different course modules, and yours may look a little different than mine because I have moved mine around and I've actually added some different modules and maybe actually deleted some modules from this page. And you can do that simply by coming over here to the very right hand corner of this panel and closing this. It doesn't mean that you've deleted the information or that module altogether. You can actually bring it back by going to this Add Course module. In fact, I highly recommend that you go here to that area and look at some of the other modules that might be important for you to put out on that dashboard. That dashboard tells the students a lot as well as yourself. It kind of lights up as far as information goes, and it provides what's due, what's new, calendar items if you choose to bring the calendar module out. The announcement tool module is already out as you can see it. So as I start posting announcements, they're going to be listed here, or they can students can actually click on more announcements. Now, it looks pretty plain the way it is, so what I usually recommend is that you go over here to this little chevron. This is what we call it, the chevron, and click on that, and you're going to have a drop-down menu. Now, you would think that you would go to Edit, but remember, Page Banner. You're going to select Page Banner and click on that, and it's going to take you to what we call the Textbox Editor. That way you can type in some information about your class. And I'm just going to put my OCD class. We have a little joke about that, online course development. And then I'm going to use some of the text editor features like you would find in any word processing program. And I'm just going to put a little welcome. And then I'm going to hit return or enter on my keyboard. And this is where you can actually add some images. I think it's important to put images, pictures, multimedia throughout your class, even if you're using this as an enhancement. It makes your class, your enhancement come alive. So to do that, you're going to click on this little icon, and this is where you would browse your computer to look for some of those images. Now I have a lot of images that I've been collecting already in a folder, so I'm just going to go straight to that. And sometimes instructors like to use a picture of themselves, or something that we've been doing more and more of is having a welcome video and tour of our classrooms. It's really important for students to feel comfortable about the environment that you've set up, and some are new to technology, some are very new to being able to navigate through an online class. So I can also help you with creating a little welcome tour. So make sure you pick a picture that's going to either represent your class or a picture of yourself is nice. Now image description, I'm just going to put Melissa's pic just for time purposes. And then I'm also going to put it in the title. So what this does, it's an alt tag, and it makes sure that if any students have some adaptive technology that needs to read the image description rather than see it, then it will describe what the picture is. And then for our browsers, Putting this information in the title will also allow your mouse to be moved over the picture depending on your browser, and you will also see this little alt tag. So once you're done, you can click on Insert, and there we have it. Now, there's other information, other tools that you can use. You can just make this as simple as welcome to your class and then a picture that either represents the class or yourself. Then when you're done, you're going to click on Submit. And there's other tools here. You could actually do a preview if you wanted to see what it looked like before you click on Submit. Every area is editable, meaning that you can go back and edit it anytime. So you see I've just jazzed up my dashboard homepage a little bit with my picture. Lots of information you can add here. Again, this would be especially important if this was your point of entry. All right, so now I'm going to go over to the announcement tool right here. The announcement tool is really a great tool to have, and I recommend it highly. Even if you don't use the dashboard homepage, you can create announcements that are static, that can stay there the whole class time. Again, you can say something simple about welcome to your class. And then what you can do is scroll down. Again, you have the Textbox Editor. You can bring a picture in here. And you can scroll down, and here's some web announcement options. Now, if I wanted a static announcement to stay at the top the whole time the class is in session, I would click on the radio button for Not Date Restricted. Now, you can restrict dates for your announcements, and you can also send a copy of this announcement immediately out to your students, and it will go to their YCCD email. I love that option. Now, here's what's interesting. Students will still be notified of the announcement even if this option is not selected. So just know this is immediate, but it will eventually go out to their YCCD email. Now, what I recommend for all announcements is that you do not date restrict them. This is just a recommendation, because that way students can come to the announcement tool and scroll down to past announcements. It might be important if they say, well, I'm not sure of this date and I don't know when this was posted. That way you can tell them, always check your announcement area because you're going to have some past announcements. So anything below this line will be set in chronological order, and then I always like to have one that's above the line that will stay static, just introducing them to the class. And also you might have a quote, a nice little image. You can be as creative as you like. Okay, what I'd like to do right now is show you how to create some content areas on your menu. Just remember the big white plus sign over here at the top left, and you'll see a little text tip, add menu item. So let's take a look at to what types of things you can add to your menu. Now again, this is the area that students will see. So what we're going to be able to do is add a content area. We're going to call it Syllabus. Now, module page is what I showed you in the dashboard, so I usually don't recommend putting that out on a content area. You can talk to me about that if you have any questions. A blank page, I usually recommend always creating a content area to put some of the blank pages. And then we have a tool link. This will probably be something important for you to check out. So if I click on that, then there's a drop-down menu with all the tools. Now I want to just say something very quickly about this. Any tool that you click on and make available to students will be on the menu. So for example, you may want to use the calendar and have it on the menu, course messages, that's internal to Blackboard, email, which goes to the student's YCCD email. Again, just take a look at some of the items and tools that you can bring onto the menu. And then we have the catch-all, which is the tools area with all the tools. So it is an item that you put on the menu. Students can click in and find every tool imaginable, and there you can hide and show some of the tools there. Some of our instructors like to use this tools area. Myself, I like to bring individual tools that I'm going to be using out on the menu. Another really important aspect to being able to use Blackboard as an enhancement is using the discussion board. So basically, we'll be coming back to this later, but I want to create a content area with you by going to the plus sign again, clicking on content area, and I might have mentioned before the syllabus is a really important document to have out there for your students to access 24/7. So that's why I make a separate content area. Students can't miss it. You'll see what it looks like. It's over here on the menu. It doesn't have anything in it right now. So I've created what they call a content area, and consider a content area like a folder. You've just created a folder area and there's nothing in it right now. So we're going to put something in it. So click on syllabus or whatever the content area that you've created. You can name it whatever you like. Once you go into the content area, you'll notice that you have 4 different buttons to add all types of resources and tools and create assessments. Again, it is limitless as to what you can actually upload and attach and connect in your Blackboard enhancement shell. For the purposes of this particular demonstration, I'm going to show you how to create an item. And notice at the very bottom you do have syllabus. I like to create an item, and you can also check out the syllabus tool. It is a template that you could fill out or attach a syllabus. I like to use the create item to bring in documents and different types of resources that are in PDF format, word processing documents, and so on and so forth, because you have a text box area where you can describe to your students and provide some other information. For example, you can describe what the syllabus does and how important it is, that you want students to print it out, and then you can actually use the Textbox Editor to put other different types of items to tell your students about your syllabus, or you can simply attach it. I usually do both. Now, under attachments, I'm going to click on Browse My Computer because that's where my syllabus is. And I happen to know it's on my desktop in a folder. And I'm going to just go down here and scroll down here, open this folder. And I want to just share something that's a practice that we feel is really important. And you can only bring one document in at a time. I really highly recommend that you save your syllabus and other documents as multiple formats. For example, it's easy in our word processing programs these days to save our syllabi and some of our documents in RTFs and PDFs. Very simple, save as, and look for that format under that text file drop-down list. And so, yes, you're going to create your documents probably in Word. And if you save as different formats, this will help guarantee your students, no matter what operating system they have, no matter what kind of computer, Mac or PC, that they will be able to open the syllabus. Now, if I accidentally attach a wrong document, I can click on Do Not Attach, and it's not going to upload this. And yes, we have some standard options. You can permit users to view this by date and time restrictions. I recommend every resource that you post, don't worry about the date and time restrictions. Let it be open, available 24/7 through the time the class starts to the time the class ends. And then I'm simply going to click on Submit, and we'll see what this looks like. And it is uploading. I notice this little message over here. And so now I have my syllabus, and I have it attached in 2 different file formats. Again, this is to help guarantee that your students will be able to open, print out, read the syllabus. Okay, so now we have a new content area that contains the syllabus. Sometimes we like to create content areas that we can actually break down into learning modules. So I'm just going to call this learning modules. And I'm going to make this available to users, and I'm going to submit. And learning modules could be another content area that you have, and you could have week by week folders for all of your content. Now, if you don't like the name learning modules and you're not sure what that would mean, or if your students would understand that, you can simply go over here to the right hand side click on the chevron and rename the link. You could then decide to call this Weekly Resources. And it's nice because you have the option of what you want to call your content areas. Again, this is blank, so we're going to click inside and make sure that we're in the Weekly Resources area. And now we can start building content, look at all the different resources that you can bring in. Assessments, you can create assessments, you can bring in all kinds of tools, you can link directly if you were going to be using the discussion board, you can bring in a chat room, a wiki, and then some of us like to use publishers' content, and they're getting pretty good about integrating with Blackboard. So if you have any of these publishers, you might want to check their Blackboard resources. For right now, I'm going to be creating a folder because I'm going to show you how you can create a folder and then start to upload some content. So this is a content folder, and I would simply call it Week 1. And because it's a folder, I think it's important to describe that, not that this is a folder, I'm just typing this in for time purposes. This is a folder which contains, and you could describe what this folder will contain. Sometimes it's important for students to know what's inside. Why should I open this folder? And I've just put some items here. And then again, this is a little word processing program, and you could actually use some of the same tools and formatting styles that you have. All right, so this folder contains homework and PowerPoint. All right, so now I've created a folder for Week 1. I can go back and do the same thing for Week 2. Now, I do want to just say this. This is what we call Tim Toady. There is more than one way to do it. So that means that if you want to break down your areas or your content areas in a different way, you can. You might have topics. Some of our instructors don't break down their materials week by week. They break down their materials by topic, and that's fine too. So once I've created the folders or my topic folders, I'm going to click inside one of them, and again, this is where I can start to bring in items, I can bring in files. We're really trying to be careful about audio and video because we would like them to be hosted outside of Blackboard to keep our storage capacity down. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Web links, you can create, check out some formal learning modules, lesson plans. There's just lots of different types of information that you can bring in. We have what's called Mashup Tools. You can check that out. You can come here and create an assessment or an assignment where students can upload. There's a lot of value in using the built-in tools within Blackboard, especially the assignment areas, and turn it in because there you have some comment tools, some audio comment tools, some highlighting comment tools, very powerful. And then automatically, when you use a built-in tool or area within Blackboard, such as an assignment area or a discussion board or an assessment, it automatically creates a gradebook column for you. Okay, what I'd like to do next is just go over some of the areas that we've done together, and that way you can be refreshed as to where everything is and try it yourself. The nice thing about a video recording like this is that you can play it over and over again and stop it at various places. All right, so let's do a little bit of a review. Just want to make sure you remember that edit mode on will allow you to edit. The edit mode off will allow you to see things the way your students will see. So usually you're going to have it on to edit mode on. That way you'll be able to edit and make some changes and add content. Now here is a little quick change course theme. You can also find this in the control panel under Customization, Teaching Style. So be sure to check this area out so you can change your point of entry, you can add different buttons, themes, and just check out some of the options. Now remember, Anything below the course management area students will not see, and this is all collapsible and expandable. Everything above the course management students will see. They will see these items. You'll have two different items on the menu, such as the dashboard homepage that will come with your shell. And what I mean by shell is more or less a Blackboard container where you actually can add your content and your items and all kinds of different tools. And then also remember you can add some different course management tools, some course modules, and you can actually move these panels around and actually delete some if you're not sure if you want those, and then add them back later. It's not deleting any of the information. This information updates automatically depending on what's going on in your class. Think of it as a dashboard. Then you have your announcement areas where you can actually post announcements, a static announcement that will stay there through all the class on the very top, and then also your announcements below that can be displayed in chronological order. They can also go out as an email. This is your content area that we name Syllabus, and remember you will create that by going over to the plus sign and selecting content area, naming it what you want. It will appear on the menu, and then you're going to click on that content area you created, and that's where you can go to the build content button and create items, your folders, and so on and so forth. All types of tools and ways that you can bring in activities for your students. I created another one called the weekly resources, and I have them separated in here, all the resources, by weekly folders. As I mentioned, if you're not happy with the name of the content area, you can move over to the very right-hand corner and rename that link. Hide it if you're not ready for students to see it. I would be careful about deleting it because it won't only delete this area, but it will delete all the content inside. Again, you can create weekly folders. You can name your folders by topics. Just remember, once you've created a folder, you're going to click inside the folder, and that way when you start building content and creating assessments and using some of the tools, it's going to be within that folder. So I hope you enjoyed learning more about using Blackboard as an enhancement. I appreciate your time and your attention. You can call me anytime, 588-5092. Leave a message if you'd like some more assistance with using Blackboard as an enhancement to your classes. Thank you.